I have an email from a friend of yours, Charlie from Starkville, Mississippi.
Oh.
And I just wanted to just jump in and read this here, because this is what we've been, another of the testimonials to the intelligence quotients of our listeners here in the cult of Cornette, because they've been maligned and insulted lately. Both Uncle Dave and our favorite wrestling artist Twinkle Toes have said that our fans have a low IQ. They're a low IQ audience, and people have been taking exception to that. Charlie writes in. Of course, it doesn't help his case that he lives in Starkville, Mississippi, but that's a charity thing. He opened up a halfway house down there for women that wouldn't go all the way. But he says, "Hi, Jim. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in on the low IQ discussion. I'm a college graduate and also a published author. My wife, who is also a listener, has a PhD and is a college professor. My mother, who loves to hear you talk about animals, has a master's in English and is also a published author. My son, who actually got a question answered on the Drive-Thru, has already skipped a grade. So apparently not liking people chop themselves up with pizza cutters on a Wednesday night is too highbrow for all of us. Thanks, Charlie from Starkville, Mississippi."
All right, well, let's get some more questions. I will say a lot of listeners are all of a sudden sending in their resumes or just their accolades.
Yes.
To say,
because
here's what I am. I went to MIT. I went to Brown. All these emails started coming in after those comments from Kenny and Dave.
Well, that's because most of our viewers and listeners went to Penn State, and Meth Head McGee went to the State Penn. See, that's the difference.
Jim, our next question sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Charlie in Starkville, Mississippi. And actually, a few people sent in this question. Let me read Charlie's and I'll read someone else's.
You got to read Charlie's.
Well, because I didn't know about this until I read this email, and then I saw a couple other ones. The Young Bucks recently claimed that AEW spent $50,000 to license the song from Space Jam for their themed entrance on Dynamite. What are your thoughts on Tony Khan spending $50K for the entrance? And then the other email sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Jeremy King. I would love to hear your thoughts on Tony Khan spending $50,000 to license the Space Jam theme for one night as a birthday present for Nick Jackson.
But, oh, God damn it. I had heard in between the time that we excoriated the bad comedy that was that entire match and all the entrances and the whole 9 yards from last week's show, somebody had said, well, it was a sponsorship, that there's a new Space Jam movie, and they were plugging that. And that was a way to defend that horribleness and awfulness with the basketball entrance and the goal and trying to dunk the ball while they were doing the Meltzer driver and blah, blah, blah. So since I've never seen the first Space Jam movie and I'm unlikely to see any future Space Jam movies, I didn't give a shit because it was still bad wrestling television. But now, what is to be believed here? Was this at least a sponsorship and some reason to do this in their minds, in their feeble minds, as flimsy as that reason may have been, there was a reason, or this was just something for one of the fucking Hardley boys for his birthday and they spent money on the music? They couldn't have spent money on the music if it was a sponsorship where they were supposed to be plugging the movie, correct? Why would they have spent $50,000 to get the music to plug the movie when they're being paid to plug the movie?
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was just dazzled by their ball handling skills when they were out there. But while the Young Bucks and Kenny were dribbling, were they plugging the movie? I don't remember that.
Well, no, this is what people said after the fact. Oh, it's a great tie-in with the Space Jam movie thing that they did. But did they? This is something now we need answered. So what is the story here? Was this some kind of promotion for a new Space Jam movie and they shoehorned it into the wrestling match in an obtrusive way? Or was it something for one of the Cucamonga kids' birthdays and they spent $50,000 on music? Vince McMahon doesn't like to license music at all to begin with. And it opens up a can of peas, I can tell you, with talent, because when this guy gets music, why can't that guy have music? And then everybody's fucking pissed off, which is why Vince just won't fucking do it, except for Punk, which was why everybody knew that he got everything he wanted. But why would they then spend $50,000 on a spot? None of this makes a lot of sense. So can somebody give us the scoop on this? What was it? Why was it there? Was it just them again jacking off as it appeared to me at the time? Or was it some type of movie tie-in that then they took and ran with and actually spent money to do a sponsor spot? I don't know what the fuck's going on here. And no, I don't put it past Tony Khan to do anything for a wrestler's birthday, since, as you'll remember, one of the first things that got me to my level of disdain for the Jackson boys there was that they super kicked the 8-year-old kid for his birthday on a show in the ring in front of people. So I can believe that another grade school child, like one of the Jacksons themselves, would have something done for them for their birthday that made a bad wrestling show even worse as well. So what? But somebody out there fill us in. What's causing all this, as Arn Anderson used to say?